Down on the podcast, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you from Australia. It's been a while since you've been joined by myself and Tess, but here we are, life again, getting in the way of some getting us today in front of the camera, but we're back again and hopefully back for a consistent run again. Tess, how are you, pal?
Oh, doing really good. Just a caveat, like if you hear like in the background, that's just my dog Cuba. He's like cruising around at the moment. He's both blind and deaf. And so he's walking
or
around.
It might be me opening a can, one or the other.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got a glass on here. So this is a gin and tonic. Cheers, cilantro to everyone. So that's just a caveat in case you hear him trotting around or something. He doesn't normally bark that much. In fact, he doesn't really bark at all unless there's a possum outside, and he absolutely goes bonkers and has a big bark at the possums. How you been?
Yeah, been good, man. Busy, very, very busy.
Nice shirt. Nice shirt.
Good, man. This is actually one of my favorite jerseys that came out in the last while. I really like it. Always like that. Yeah. I have all the new ones this year as well, but I still wear this one like a fair bit. I really like it from last year.
I bought the tracksuit. You know the new like retro. I forgot the name they called it on the website, but that new tracksuit, the blue one.
Did it come?
Yeah.
Good.
Nice. Proper tracksuit. Proper feeling tracksuit. Yeah. I got a medium size because like I'm not too tall, and it fits really well. But you can tell that I'm getting on in age because like I don't like doing the zip up too much. Get the dad bod out and stuff like that. So it's really nice. The material is class. Feels good. Really, really nice to wear. So yeah, definitely recommend that one if you're getting out there. I just saw the look of it when I saw Bieber was wearing it, and I think Onana was wearing it as well, and I was like, oh, that tracksuit looks nice. And so I had to get it. So yeah, good one. I should have worn the top tonight, but it's too hot.
The gear's gone up a level, isn't it? Like, you know, like with Adidas, every year it's getting better. Like the quality's much better than it's been for years. Like since we went to Adidas, isn't it? Like all the gear is better. The hoodies are coming out. The zip up jackets are coming out and stuff. I like. It's good to have a decent quality shirt sponsor, like our supplier.
Yeah, the only thing like I bought it is that we're coming into summer here now, right? And it's not far. Well, summer's almost here, and you can't really wear the tracksuit because it's too hot in Brisbane. It's like today it was raining for about 15 minutes, but it's so humid at the moment. I did have the fan on, but it causes like a bunch of the screen to go flashy and stuff because of the fans in the background. So I've got it off, and so like I am probably sweating a little bit in here, and but it's nice.
Yeah, the weather's been beautiful in Perth as well, man. And I'm
you
looking forward
to suntan.
Yeah, I went to this stage. I work out in the bloody thing for 10 hours a day. Still not as good as your tan, nobody.
I've been working on mine for a long time, hey. Like, it's getting there slowly. Actually, you can tell I got a bit of a tan. So if you look at the top of my arm,
can actually, yeah, you can
tell that I've got a bit of a tan there. I'm not meaning to show my body off on this, but got a bit of a tan. It's getting warm, so anyone that wants a holiday and go to some beautiful beaches and experience some really nice hot weather, you should come over to Australia. Come and check us out.
100%, yeah. And the good news is that, well, I'll say the good news, but usually for the last few years, I've really not enjoyed international breaks. But I must say I did enjoy this international break because I
wonder why
Ireland amazingly turned things around against all the odds. It was when I moved over to Australia in 2008 for like 10 years, like because I was Ireland mad, Aston Villa mad, obviously. And I used to get up in every game for Villa and Ireland, like never missed a game. And I never lost that with Villa, but I did fall out with Ireland for a while because it just became too much after Euro 2016. We had like about 2 years, 2014 to 16, where Villa, you remember, were just awful in the build up to relegation. Getting up for games was really hard. I did it, but at the same time, Ireland were crap as well. So I'm getting no pleasure at all from games. And we had a good Euro 2016. And we went really bad after that. And then I couldn't do it for two games. So I was like, I have to choose one. I can't be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning for both anymore. They were just letting me down. I needed to use international breaks to get sleep. So yeah, I kind of stopped getting up for the Ireland game. I'd still always watch them the next day or whatever, but I stopped getting up unless it was a big game. We were just kind of
same for England though. England were like doing well in competitions, but to watch them, to be honest with you, it was not worth staying up. They were boring to watch, for a long time. So I said, I'd rather just watch the highlights.
Yeah, it became hard. Like, I would have been like an Irish fanatic, like for the Irish team growing up. Like, I mean, that's where my kind of love of Villa came from, was from the Irish team, really. Like, and yeah, so slowly we've turned things around. But even this campaign, it was treacherous. Like, we'd lost to Armenia, we'd like a couple of late losses to Hungary and Portugal, and then it got down to the Hilmar Helgeson. He was the Iceland coach. Remember the Iceland coach that beat England, knocked England out of Euro 2016?
All right, take it easy.
Yeah. No, but that's what he's kind of known for, really. Like, that's the only thing that makes him famous, really. But no, he's after taking, because Ireland really don't have any superstars anymore like we would have back in the day. Like, not even superstars, but Premier League players, all like championship players now. Like, but he's getting a good tune on. But he was getting hammered after we lost to Armenia, and everyone wanted him sacked, and the football was turgid, and he was just like, stay with us. And then we got down to the last two group games, and to have any chance to qualify to the playoffs, we had to beat Portugal and beat Hungary, and we were like, this is never going to happen. Like, that's why it came around to this international break, obviously, and you would have seen it, and we beat Portugal 2-0 in Dublin, and then we went to Budapest, and then beat Hungary 3-2 in the 96th minute. But there was two really poetic moments in it, like where first one was Ronaldo. He elbowed our centre back, and all the fans thought it should be a red card. And then
dirty player.
When he only got a yellow, he looked at all the Irish crowd. He done the cry like that to them.
Are you kidding?
And then the ref. Yeah, and then like in Dublin, and then the VAR got onto the referee to go over and have a look, and then the referee changed it to a red, and then the whole stadium just started doing that to Ronaldo. And he stormed off.
Are you kidding? I didn't see that.
And then
it's because he was on the plane going to America to go and hang out with Donald Trump. That's what Donald it was.
Trump, yeah. And then the next one was so then we had to go and play Hungary. And we started well, but then Hungary kind of took over, and Dominic Szoboszlai, the Liverpool midfielder, he was just levels ahead of anything that was on the pitch, to be fair to him. Now he was controlling the game. And then went 1-0 and went back to 1-1. And then they went 2-1 up, and when they went 2-1 up, Szoboszlai was doing that to the crowd. And then we got back to 2-2, and then we got 3-2 in the 95th minute, which knocked Hungary out of the World Cup. And like, there's memes going around now, how life comes at you hard. Like, there's a meme of like Salzburg playing the 37th minute doing that to the Irish crowd, and then there was the 96th minute, and he's just sitting in the centre circle crying.
Oh, you kid! So, are you qualified? Are you qualified for World Cup now?
We're qualified for the playoffs for the World Cup, but it was
okay.
That's still something, man. It looked so unlikely there 6 weeks ago, But
who are you going to play in the playoffs?
So the draw happened last night, and we play the Czech Republic away in a one-off game. And if we win that, then we have to play the winners of Denmark and Macedonia in Dublin. And the winners of that then goes to the World Cup. So it's win 2 games. So, yeah.
You got a chance. Good chance.
Yeah, it's like the way the draws fall with Pats. It's probably, with pathways, it's probably, we got the best that we probably could ask for. Like, it's still going to be tough with Denmark at home or whatever if we get through, but the Czech Republic aren't what they were back in the day. Like, they were, back in the day when they had like your Peter Cechs and Pavel Nedveds and Thomas Rosicki's and Jan Koller, they just don't have that quality anymore. Like, so, but they'll also be thinking the same about Ireland. They'll be happy with the draw too, you know what I mean? Like, Ireland is one of the ones I'm sure they would have been. If you'd offered them Ireland and Prague, they would have taken it out of all the people that were available. So I'm under no illusions about that. But no, the draw could have definitely been worse for us. But I don't think any team will fancy go to Dublin, because Dublin will be absolutely raucous for any team who goes there.
Of course it will. I'm hoping Ireland get through as well. It'd be lovely to see Ireland get through.
I think the American economy is hoping that Ireland get through too, because it's still going for fortune over
them. So I hear John McGinn is going to be going to the World Cup.
John McGinn is going to the World Cup. That's what I was going to get on to next, because I was saying the international breaks usually are a bit of a chore for me, but no, it's been amazing this time. And McGinn again, brilliant. playing Denmark, and the winner would qualify automatically, and the runners-up had to go into the playoff. But Denmark were miles ahead, like favourites, and they got back to 2-2. Denmark only needed a draw, and Scotland had to win, and it went to Scotland went 2-1 up, and then it got to the 80th minute, and Patrick Dorgu, the United fullback, he scored, and it was 2-2, and like the Scots just looked dead and buried, like. And then Kieran Tierney scored an absolute cracker in the 93rd minute. And then in the 96th minute, Kenny McLean, the Norwich midfielder, he lobbed Casper Schmeichel from the halfway line when they were trying to keep the ball and won 4-2 and went to qualify for the World Cup.
Clip. Yeah.
Wow. I did feel sorry for McGinn though, because he got pulled in for a drug test just after the game, so he wasn't allowed going to the dressing room to the celebrations. He just got pulled out. He just got pulled out. Well, it's just random. Like two or three players always get pulled out after a game, and McGinn was one of them. And he didn't get to go into the dressing room for the celebration. You're not allowed to join your team or anything. Like,
it's, that's horrible. But it's going to the World Cup, and just to be clear, John McGinn is drug free.
Yeah,
I guarantee it. Well, I say that now, but I believe he's nuts. He's a nutty dude, but he's drug free and he's going to the World Cup. That's awesome. Because John McGinn there, sorry, Spud, just on going to the World Cup, but just recently on Aston Villa TV or AVTV, brilliant legendary showcase in 2 parts, all about John McGinn becoming legend of Aston Villa. Yeah.
I mean, AVFC Stato on Twitter, I don't know if you follow him, but his content's really, really good. Like, he comes up with some amazing stuff. But he'd done a list of all McGinn's big moments for, this is before the documentary came out as well, all his big moments for Villa. And he's really had an input on all Villa's big moments in the last 6 or 7 years. Like, he scored in the playoff final for us. He scored our first goal back in the Champions League. The first goal back in the Premier League against Spurs. We lost the game, but he was still our first goal scorer. He scored against PSG. He scored in the Europa League. He scored in the Conference League. He's popped up in all our biggest moments. Like, so,
John McGinn is, like under Steven Gerrard. If I'm going to be honest, I had serious concerns about his form after being given the captaincy and stuff. I had real concerns about his form.
Me too, yeah.
And
I even went as far as called him the most overrated player in our squad. Remember when he were under Gerrard?
Yeah.
We retract massively.
I apologise, John, wholeheartedly. There was a moment there where I just thought you had had enough, and you were onto different things. But as you said in your documentary, you've puffed your chest out and become that leader and that person for the club. And I apologise. So I'll just. He's never watching this. I don't even know why I'm saying that, but I just want to apologise to him, because I did at one stage have him dead and buried.
If you want to be a guest,
absolutely love him. So you have to apologise as well, Spud. Like, you have to apologise to him for ever doubting him.
Oh, I did many times. I retracted that many times on the podcast after. Yeah, it wasn't on this podcast though. It was on a previous one we did. So don't blacken the Villa Pride. Don't own his name with that.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't on this one actually. Yeah, it was on another one at that time, wasn't it?
Yeah. But an absolute.
What did you make of the documentary?
Genuinely, and I've only seen the first part. I'm going to watch the second part now tonight.
Okay. Is he legend of the club now?
I think if he wins a trophy, yeah. But I think he has to be considered a legend now at the moment, though. He's taken us from the Championship to the Champions League. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
That is incredible. And the Champions League's no easy thing to do. I don't know why, but I have a feel, I still within feel like you win a trophy with a club, you go down in the club status forever and ever, and you are a legend forever and ever because you've won that silverware with the club on the big stage. So, and even if it was like the Conference League or the Europa League, even at FA Cup, I'm going to put the FA Cup in there as well. I'm not going to put the other cup in there, but the FA Cup. You win one of these trophies with the club. I think, for me personally, my opinion is that he goes down in the club as a legend. Same with Tyrone Mings as well, coming from the Championship to win a big major trophy.
While we're on the subject of like content and documentaries, I just wanted to give Jacob Tanswell a big thumbs up for his fantastic interview with Ross Barkley. Did you read that?
Yes, I did read that. That was really good.
Fantastic
I love Jacob Tanswell's stuff. I love what he's
phenomenal.
He's an honorary villain.
If the club are willing to give him access to Ross Barkley like that, he obviously must be very well thought of by Aston Villa too. As in, to give him that kind of access, they must respect his work hugely. You know, not every journalist out there like gets that kind of access to players, especially with the content that was around it, because there was basically Ross Barkley opening his heart. You know, so I thought it was brilliant. And look, we've spoke about Jacob many times, but I just wanted to give him a heads up a big up for that, because I thought it was a fantastic piece.
Yeah.
As is all his iron. Like, he's a brilliant writer, just fantastic.
Give him some love there. Give him some love, Jacob Tanswell. Really like him. He's also been on the podcast. He did say that he would come back and see us at a later date as well. So that will be nice to do and talk to him about that really special interview that he was able to get with Ross Barkley.
What did you make of it? The stuff that Ross Barkley spoke about in it?
Oh, look, I think what's most important for me is that we don't always get to see an insight into some of these players, right? You kind of you see them and you hear about what the media in sort of the tabloids say about all these players and stuff, and you don't ever really know the full truth. But when you get some players who are prepared to come out and speak to a journalist and just lay it all on the line and show growth, because I think that's what it is. He's shown that he's matured a lot. You know, he's somebody who I don't know if he fell out of love of football as such, but he's not had the best journey in the latter years of his career after leaving Everton. Been overseas to play, went to go and play at Luton, where he started to rediscover his form and stuff, and to hear him lay it all on the line and give people an insight into him and his character, his life, family and personality, I thought was really, really good. And you have to applaud that. It shows a lot of guts to show how mature you are to share that kind of information. And the other thing that I think that happens with that is that, especially for us at the moment, because Emery finds him very important. When he's fit, Emery gives him minutes. I think the Villa fans will love to hear that side of his story, because he's played for us a couple of times now, hasn't he? He's been like in the squad on loan, or been at the club on loan, and then went away, and now he's been signed and come back and fit really well within the group. So yeah, I thought it was really, really good. And again, as I said, Jacob is fantastic at putting these interviews out and the content that he does for the club.
I think the two things as well, like they're kind of like, after watching the documentary that Villa did on McGinn, and then obviously reading the piece about Barkley with Jacob, the thing that kind of struck me as well is that they both gave a little insight into their conversations with Unai Emery, which I thought was really good, because John McGinn said it was the most fascinating half an hour conversation I ever had when Unai Emery in my career took over from Gerrard, as he sat me down and he said, I watched your last 10 games. It has not been good. And then he goes, but luckily for you, I watched the 10 before that and the 10 before that. And I think you can be an asset to this team. So I thought that was a really good insight. And then Ross Barkley says that Emery brought him back was he was having a few issues or whatever, and sat him down and said, he spoke to him before he signed him from Luton, and he said, I've watched your last 12 games, and he says, you're far too talented to have had the career path that you've had, you know, going to Lille, going to Luton. But you know what I must say though, I give Ross Barkley a lot of credit for having the ability or the mindset to go to a Luton. You know, a lot of, like, they talk about how good he was. Like, I remember him coming through. Like, he was genuinely talked about, like, as amazing talent coming through Everton.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but that obviously big, a big Everton connection. People that are close to the club. And Ross Barkley is, as he even said himself to Jacob Tenswell, the Evertonians seen him as their Gerrard. They thought he was going to be the supporter that comes through and just leads the club forward. And Jacob talks about it, like that pressure. Like, people don't understand. That's like, there's a lot of pressure on a 16-year-old. Like, you're not ready to develop that. And I think as football fans, we definitely are guilty of forgetting about that human element. Like
100%.
It doesn't matter how much money. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. Like, and you look at, like, we spoke about, like, say, Robin Olsen before, and they were like, oh, he's well paid to sit on the bench. And we were saying there must be nothing more difficult. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you're getting, to walk into a stadium and know that the 40,000 people that are there to be supporting you don't want you in that goal. Like,
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal pressure. And, like, people can say, oh, yeah, but they're paid, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what anyone says. In that moment, Robin Olsen isn't thinking about his bank account. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he wants to play football. He wants to play, and he wants the fans to love him and show him that love when he's at the club. And I'm guilty of it. Like, I just couldn't.
We're all guilty of it. It's the life of a fan, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think it was to do with the money, though. Like, I don't think it was that. From my point of view,
I'm saying some people do say they should be able to put
yeah.
up with it because they're rich. You know what I mean? But that's
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Speaking of,
like, I can guarantee when Robin
I was going to say, speaking
where
of,
this is going.
No, all right, I'll tell you what. Let's finish the Robin Olsen point first, and then we'll talk about the bench.
No, that was just the same kind of point I was making. I was saying I definitely think that if you're walking in, like, Emery Martinez gets injured in the warm up, and you've hurt your hand, and suddenly you're, like, told 10 minutes before kickoff you're playing, like, that everyone in that stadium is absolutely gutted. Like, it must be so difficult. Like, I don't care how much thousands a week you're getting on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it must be incredible. Like, and, like, I don't know. It's a
what about when you make a save though, and the fans, that you make a save, and then the fans, like, still kind of jeer you, but giving you sarcastic cheers and stuff. That's correct. That's correct.
Like that time when Rodgers was going through the bad patch there to start the season, and they sarcastically cheered him when he got a pass right. It's.
I'll tell you what, though, Villa fans, we can be. I don't put us in the fickle anymore, because I think it took a long time, though. It took a long time for the Villa fans to understand how we're going to be playing and how Emery's going to be playing.
Well,
but then you watch under Gerrard was shite under Gerrard. Sorry.
Ezri Gandhi said it, like, he said Villa Park is the best place in the world to play your football when things are going well, but he said the fans can be difficult to expect better when you're playing. He said it's one of the hardest places to play your football when things aren't going wrong. But hey,
I'll let you know.
Hey, that's why you're fans, isn't it? Like, because you sit in your couch or you sit in your stadium in the street and you think, we could do better. Well, you couldn't do better.
we want them to do better, and that's why.
Because they're being paid so much, you expect better. But then you just kind of do have to sit back and think. You do have to sit back and think. They're human too, like, and I think that Ross Barkley, if you brought that home for me, as in, like I remember, like, him throwing down his shin pads when Dean Smith subbed them against Leicester. I think it was, walking off the upside of the pitch and not looking, and you're just like, now you realise, like, and you read Jacob's article, like, and that obviously wasn't brought up, but then you realise, like, he was going through a lot of stuff, like, and that was just another nail in the coffin for him, being pulled off after 20 minutes in a game or whatever, like, you know what I mean?
At least he threw his shin pads and not the shirt, though. If you threw the shirt, that would have been different on a comeback, wouldn't it? It would have been difficult, like, coming back if you threw the shirt on the floor.
I think there's one thing that I think that if you spoke to any manager or any coach or anything, there's absolutely no doubting his ability. Like, I don't think that was ever questioned. I think from Everton all the way through to Villa now, I think even the bad patches he had at clubs, I don't think his ability was ever doubted. Maybe, like, he's a phenomenal footballer. Like. And I think Villa. Has he been a good signing for 5 million? 100%.
Yeah.
I still think the best is yet to come. I don't think he'll be moved on anytime soon now. I think I think he impacts games too much, and Emery likes a squad game, as in like he likes people he can bring in 10 minutes the last 10, 15 minutes that he can trust. All he needed to do was get Ross Barkley to a point where he accepted that. And I think Ross Barkley accepts it now. That I think being part of the team and having an impact means more to Ross Barkley than floating around clubs and trying to find his place now. I think he seems happy there. Now there might come a point. Yeah, there might come a point in 2 or 3 years where he thinks, right, I'm 34, I haven't really played massive regularly for someone. I'm going to drop off and play for somebody else now for a year or whatever. But you wouldn't dismiss that in any player. But I would say if you ask Ross Barkley now, I think he would say Villa is probably the best place for him because he's getting games. He's getting more game time than Malin. He hasn't even been fit for like the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
now.
I think he's a good signing.
Someone else that's fit, yes. Someone else that's been fit, but can't seem to get a kick. What's your thought on that?
Person that doesn't even make the bench.
Just for the listener as well, me and Tess obviously haven't done a podcast together in a while, so we're probably going over stuff you've heard in different podcasts. But we're trying to get each other's opinion and stuff because we haven't sat down and chatted about this together. Like.
Yeah, and it's just to have a good conversation about a bunch of different things today. I think that's really key that we can do that. You were going to ask me. I was going to bring up sitting on the bench, but the reality is that there are some players that aren't actually getting on the bench. Oddly enough, and I haven't listened to anybody else's podcast, to be honest, over the last few weeks. Kind of just giving it a break a bit while life has been busy and hectic with work and family and stuff, but. Really strange that there was a massive hype about bringing in Harvey Elliott to the club from big club Liverpool, talented player, and played some minutes for us early on. And it doesn't. He's missing, right? Like he's missing, and it's almost as if. Now I don't know what the facts are, but it's almost as if Emery doesn't trust him at all at the moment. Like it's not even enough to say, we're going to keep him on the bench and then we're going to give him some minutes to start gelling in and learning the structure of our team and how we play. He's not trusting him at all. Like he's not. If he's fit, he's not trusted. And that's a big problem. Like that's a big problem, and I guess not for us because we're performing as a club at the moment. We found our way again, but that's a big problem for him. He wanted to go somewhere to play football regularly, and he's not getting that.
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, like. I was very excited about the Harvey Elliott signing. I thought this is a great signing. He's someone I've rated always. I think he's very good. I like, and at the time, I just thought fantastic. Yeah, I don't think we've missed him particularly much since we've turned things around. To be honest, I think Roger. I think situations have. What's the word? Perspired against him as well too. Like so say. Like I think it's fairly well documented that Emery wanted Paqueta, and then that was kind of apparently done, dusted, and all fell through at the end. The media outcry with Paqueta leaving West Ham and all that, and then the plug got pulled on that. But if Fabrizio Romano is to be believed, that deal was done. Like apparently, like that was ready to go from his post. But so they needed number 10 because Morgan Rogers was brutally out of form at the time. The whole team was brutally out of form. Let's be honest, like it was the last day of the transfer deadline. Didn't know who was coming. Didn't know who was going. Emi Buendia was meant to leave. Tielemans was injured, and it was just kind of like, what are you going to do? Big coup.
Jacob was going out. Jacob Ramsey was going out, wasn't he?
Jacob Ramsey was gone. Big coup. What I thought at the time. But now it kind of looks as if like, well, Monchi just delivered somebody, and maybe it's not who Emery wanted. And
so Monchi paid the price, and he's not there anymore.
Yeah, but also I think Elliott paid the price in the fact that suddenly Rodgers' form turned around. Buendia suddenly from nowhere, from looking like he's going to leave to just determined to win a place in that team, who already knows Emery's system to some degree, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then not only that, and then recently, out of that, suddenly Yuri Tillman starts coming back from injury, and then you're suddenly thinking, like, where is there a place for him in this team? Like,
Yeah.
whereas I personally thought he should have walked into the team after he signed because Rodgers was so badly out of form. Buendia looked like he was off. Tillmans was injured, and I was angry because I was thinking, what is Emery doing here? Like, but Emery stuck with Rodgers, and like, he obviously seriously believes in this kid, like, and Rodgers is starting to pay him back now. Sign a new contract. He's starting to play in, and you look at things like when Rodgers had that awful game. I can't remember again when they had that ironic cheers when he made the pass. He was terrible in the game. I can't remember who was against. He was. Yeah, and they asked Emery about it after, and he should have been taken off. I mean, like, it was actually painful watching him. He was playing so bad. Like, it was like I felt sorry for him towards the end because he was just that
because
bad.
his body language
Emery,
too, like he was not feeling it.
Emery goes, he wanted to come off, I would say, but then they asked Emery about it after, and Emery goes, if he wants to be a top level player, he needs to learn to deal with this. And I suppose that's the difference why we're here talking about Villa and Emery's running Villa. Like, it's because well, you look back now, it was the right call. Like, a lot of managers would have a lot of managers would have thrown in the towel, taken him off. But Emery said to him, like, no, you're my man, like, don't mind Harry Vale on the bench, like, you're my man. Show me, prove me right. Like,
there's that pattern though.
Now
with
he's
Emery,
got six.
though.
Yeah. No, he's got.
There's a pattern with
sorry,
Emery.
1 second.
It's like,
just before we move on, Raj.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, now Emery's loyalty has been rewarded with Rodgers signing a 6-year contract. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, it seems like there's a method to the madness. Like, as in, like, from Emery, like, he's now. It's like, was Rodgers off, and then Emery just showed him this unbelievable amount of dedication. Like, no, belief, like, you're my man, like, you know. Like, because a lot of people believe that Rodgers' head was gone. I never, you know, I'm in a group chat with you.
But
I never
why was
believed
his
it.
head
I
gone,
just
though? Do you reckon somebody came in for him? Did somebody come in for him?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of people were saying that. I didn't believe it personally. I just thought he was horribly out of form. I just think that it was the first real part of his Villa career where he had a dip. You know, like, a lot of the time it was up. He went from, like, he won the Young Player of the Year. He took Jacob once he came back from injury. He took Jacob Ramsey's place, rightly so, and scored a lot of assists. It was the real dip. But as a young lad, he probably wasn't used to that massive a dip. Like, so I think it was fantastic management from Emery when probably everybody else thought he was doing the wrong, you know. But a lot of people thought, oh, his head's at Chelsea. He wants to leave. He wants this, you know. Like, and there probably was a bit of substance to it, but I never believed it. I don't think people were crazy to think that either, but I don't think it was as simple as his head was gone. But anyway, whatever Emery has done with him, he turned around and signed a six-year contract or whatever, or extended his contract to 6 years. A couple of weeks later, now he looks like he's getting some way back to his best football, you know.
Is Harvey Elliott going back to Liverpool in January?
Yes. Yeah. I believe
because
so.
I don't think Emery trusts him at all.
I think for himself, even though a lot of the people are reporting that there isn't actually an agreement, like there isn't the loan recall.
Oh, okay.
I think surely as like a morally right thing, surely Villa and him can come to an agreement but then you don't know what Emery likes. In January, he could be the most regular player in the team. Like, you just don't know. But I just don't. Yep. I just don't think. I think if Rodgers was in form and Tillmans wasn't injured, I don't think they would have ever signed him. To be honest, that's my process.
But you said we just talked about how Emery was playing Rodgers, and after the press conference of that awful game, he has to learn how to play through. He has to learn how to play through this. If he's going to be a top player, he has to learn how to play through this.
As in, like, you have to take the high, learn how to take the lows with the highs, I suppose. You know,
with the highs,
you know?
and there's going to be times when you're
easy
to
take the highs. It's easy to take the adulation and you know, when things are going well. But to be a top pro, you have to be able to deal with the lows too. And that's, I think, the message I kind of got from it. Like,
yeah. Whereas, and good example, Gerrard started to not play McGinn or substitute McGinn, didn't he, during that period when he wasn't playing really well? Instead of making him play through that bad form that he had. Like he went through a bad stage, and Gerrard leaves, and McGinn gets a new manager who shows him a bit of belief, and then all of a sudden he's turned that around. With Rodgers starting this season, coming into this season after winning awards and everything for his performances last season, he's told, you're staying on the pitch for 90 minutes. You've got to learn how to deal with it. He does so, he gets a new contract, and his form started to pick up a lot. Then he gets a goal, whole new ball game. But Elliot is not getting a chance. He's not getting that belief. Well, maybe he's on the training pitch. Maybe he is. But on the pitch, Elliot's not getting minutes to prove himself and find a way. That's what I mean. That's a problem. And Emery's not saying, right, no matter, even if he doesn't know our structure, I'm still going to play him so that he can get to know that structure. But he's never going to be starting ahead of Morgan Rogers. No chance. Or Yuri Tillemans. No chance. When they're fit.
No, and someone that knows the system, it's I kind of feel sorry for him.
He's going back to Liverpool. I think
he could be an asset to this team,
I think in the squad he could definitely be good, but if he wants to play regular first team football at the moment, unless somebody gets really injured, he's not going to be doing that. But it's a shame, really, because
you can't even get the match day squad. It's mad, isn't it?
Not even on the bench. That's what I'm saying.
It's not that he can't get in the team. He can't actually get in the squad. It's mad. Like, the day he signed, if you had told me that he would have went 5 games where he didn't even make the match day squad in a row, I'd have thought you were nuts. I know Emery's bad, like, with introducing players, but there's no way he's going to go 5 match day squads. Like,
of all the signings, from the signings that we made, though. So the Sancho, because they advertised it was Sancho, Elliot, and Gesson.
Lindelof.
I think
Lindelof. Yeah.
Lindelof's playing. He's getting minutes in certain games and coming on towards the end of games and whatnot, getting a chance in the cup games, I think it is. And Gesson's getting minutes, and he hasn't really set the world on fire, but it looks like he's doing a job at the moment for me. He hasn't been let loose and set free to be more creative, but he's doing a really, really good job.
He's getting more minutes than Malin.
Yeah.
He's getting more minutes than Malin.
You see? So this is what's baffling me. This is why I'm confused, because Elliot's come from, Liverpool. Good quality player. And can't get a look in. And perhaps it's to do with, if there is a clause that he plays a certain amount of games, then Villa have to buy him for said fee. Maybe if that is the case,
does it just simply come down to the fact that Emery knows Villa are tight for money, and he doesn't think that's where the 35 million should be spent, because we don't have lots of 35 million to throw around? Is he just thinking, well, for a number 10 position, we have Tillemans, we have Barkley, we have Buendia, we have Rodgers, we can play McGinn there if we have to.
Mm-hmm.
If we activate this 35 million, that's 35 million gone that I can't invest in the squad elsewhere. Maybe it simply just comes down to that. Maybe it is the fact that he can't play 10 games, but I don't know. I'd love to see the structure of the deal.
You got to look at it, though, and you say, what you just mentioned, the players that you mentioned, though, and based on the performances that they've been doing over the last couple of seasons, you have to say, like, it's hard to get in there, right? I mean, I think Buendia has probably, he's been borderline my favourite player this season so far. I thought he's been fantastic. Even in pre-season and stuff, I think he was playing and seeming to get about the place and wanting to really stay at the club. I like that Buendia has for a long time said that he wanted to stay at the club. He likes being at the club. I think he only went out on loan because he couldn't get in the team, just returned from injury. He needed to play football.
Sorry, just to stop you there, Tess, sorry for interrupting you. Yeah. For sure, didn't Jacob Tanzel say recently in the podcast that he knows for a fact that Buendia didn't even want to go to Leverkusen that time? He was kind of pushed to there. Oh,
he didn't want to go there either.
He didn't want to go there either, apparently, yeah. That Jacob, I think it was Jacob, one of them said anyway, I think it was Jacob, maybe John Townley, but I'm pretty sure it was Jacob that said he actually refused to move loan as well. He wanted to stay and fight for his place, but Villa needed the space in the squad, and he went to Leverkusen and did well. But it wasn't him that pushed for it at all, apparently. He wanted to stay and fight. To steal a phrase from Jurgen Klopp, though, what a mentality monster. I mean, imagine getting
Yeah.
kicked that many times like at a club and still saying, "Oh, this is where I want to be." Maybe the family is very settled in Birmingham or something, maybe because he's got young kids and that. Maybe he wants to be in the Midlands, and he's like, this can be a success. But like nobody can say he doesn't deserve his spot in that team at the moment. Like,
No, I think he's been
it's
brilliant.
not. It's not. It's nice to see him doing well, though, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
he was
Even when he was injured, remember he was injured. He used to be at every single game. Like when he was injured, he used to be at every game in the changing room. He asked if he could stay around the club and stay around the team, even when he was injured. Because normally, when the players are injured, they go off and they're elsewhere doing camps and all this kind of stuff, and they stay away from the team. But he was there all the time, and you got to respect that about him. He's kind of really come in and taken the Villa shirt and just said, I want to be here, and he has done for a while since he's been at the club, and I think he's been fantastic this season, probably arguably one of the best players that we've had this season so far, and long may it continue. Do you know what I like about him? He's got this tenacity about him sometimes, and sometimes like when you just need someone to like stick a boot in, like McGinn will do it sometimes, but we don't really have people that come in and just be that bastard on the pitch sometimes. And sometimes he can be that person, and it's nice to have. And he's got a bit of quality about him. His passing range is really good. He's got that low centre of gravity, and he can score goals. We know that. So, really, really enjoyed having Buendia there. And Harvey Elliott can't get ahead of him for me.
Not at the moment, anyway. Yeah.
Well, he's not getting ahead of anyone at the moment. So
it's phenomenal from our point of view, though, that Villa are now in a position where we can let players like Harvey Elliott off, not on the match day squad. Like, when you think of the last 10 or 15 years of Villa, the fact that we're at that stage now where we're getting Marcus Rashford and Marco Asensio on loan, we're able to leave players like Harvey Elliott. He won the league last year. Like, he had Slot and Klopp saying that they regret not giving him more minutes over the last few seasons, that he was very unlucky not to have more minutes, and Villa are able to leave him out in the match day squad. It's insane. I just wanted to give a big shout out to my boy Kamara as well.
I love
like
him.
how this guy I'm massive.
Just before you go into this, you're a big fan, but I think we still need. We did discuss this before, but I think we should still do. We discussed doing a special on Buba, and we should still do that.
Yeah, 100%. But how is this guy not in the French squad? Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm delighted. It's good because we don't want to let the world know our secret. But how is he not in the French squad? Like, I can't understand it. Like, no, he's not making like any internationals. Like, no, he's been very unlucky. I know Deschamps has called him up a few times, and he got injured, or he's been, he does have a few caps. But I think there was a recent game that Deschamps was actually at Villa Park to watch Kamara and Dean. So I don't think it's too far off. Kamara getting back in that squad.
He just needs to keep his fitness up, and that's hard to say that just keep your fitness up. But what I mean is that, he needs to play regularly and be injury free for a period of time, so that, I think the French national coach can call him up and trust that if he's there, he's available to play and is fit and not going to get injured. And because what that'll mean is, gets injured on international duty, comes back, and he's normally out for a little while when he gets injured, isn't he? So hopefully he can just stay injury free. I'd imagine the physios and everyone are working to make sure that the training that he's doing at the moment is trying to prevent any of those sort of recurring injuries come back.
It's phenomenal,
though. Hard though when everyone's kicking you so hard.
It's phenomenal though, like, when he does get injured, because obviously at Marseille he never got injured and he came to Villa, and typically like he starts picking up injuries, but we are statistically a better team when he plays. Like, it's no coincidence that our form has improved since he came back from injury again this year. But even his ACL, he got an ACL injury a similar time to Buendia and Tyrone Mings. He was way before them. Like, his power of recovery for injuries is phenomenal. Like, he's coming back from big injuries really quickly. Like, in the context of things, he's missing a good few games, but in the context of the actual injury, he's getting back a lot quicker than other players. Like, it's very interesting. So if we can get him to get a run of in games without injuries, like, we could be a very different team. And him and him and Onana are starting to build a nice little partnership together, which means Tielemans will probably go to number 10. I know you're not a big fan of Tielemans at 10, but I think to have that option though of Tielemans playing in the 10 would be huge though.
Yeah, because I love them being there though. I like that Onana's started to get some form, because I've been disappointed, to be honest, with Onana in some of his form. And so far, since he's come back from injury, it looks like he's starting to get a bit of momentum and stuff. But I like Tielemans at the back because I feel like I like someone who's like a midfield general who can just kind of dictate play. And Tielemans is really, really good at that. Whether it's just keeping everyone calm or being able to be in that midfield and then just suddenly turn someone, and then all of a sudden we're on the front foot with one pass. Tielemans does all that.
It's phenomenal.
And that's why I like him. It's not that I don't like him as a number 10, but I just prefer him further back, you know, to be that person who orchestrates and dictates what we're doing. I don't think anyone in the team does it better than him. And then you got, you know, Kamara kind of doing all the rest of the work behind there to protect the back four. I don't know that Onana can do that kind of job. And in all honesty, I don't really see Kamara doing that either. He's got the ability to do it, but I feel like he's just I don't know how to put it into words. But yeah, I don't think anyone in the team does what Tielemans can do in that space. And when he's at number 10, obviously he's good and he creates assists and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's just a preference. But he's good up there, you know, like it's proven he does it. But sometimes I just feel like
I totally agree with you though, because his vision is so unbelievable. It's better when he has more to look at. You know what I mean? Like when he's sitting in a 6 as opposed to 10, because Onana, I've really liked his performance the last few weeks, and I think it's something that will be beneficial to Villa having a big, bulky, strong midfielder in there. But when Kamara and Tielemans are fit and firing together, like there's not too many better partnerships in the league. The problem they have is they're not getting on the pitch together much recently because of Kamara's injuries originally, and now Tielemans' injuries. You know,
yeah.
I just hope it's not
back
getting
the
to a
other
point
day and proved exactly what I was saying. Though.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I think Tielemans' best position is in midfield, like alongside Kamara. But I just think this could end up being a way that Emery fits the three of them in. You know, like I think that's what's going to, especially against the bigger teams that you have three in midfield. Because if you play Tielemans as a 10, it's an extra body to drop back and help the lads in midfield. Because I thought that was a big issue against Liverpool, where we had three. We had Onana and Kamara, but then Liverpool had three midfielders, and it took us too long to get to grips with it. And the game was almost come beyond us before we done anything about it. So I think that would fix that issue straight away. Mm-hmm. Because for all Rodgers' brilliance in number 10, he's not fantastic at defending. Yeah, it's interesting. It's good to have those options, though. And
brilliant. We're coming a long way.
Brings us to huge, yeah. And that brings us to the international break, kind of over. Yeah,
Ezri Konsa. If he was a car, he's a Bentley. He's like a Rolls Royce Phantom, Lamborghini. He's not a Tesla or nothing like that. You know, like he's one of them. Ezri Konsa. His form this season has been unbelievable, and he's vice captain now, isn't he? He's vice captain.
Yeah,
Ezri Konsa.
Yeah,
good on him. He's been at the club for a long time.
Do you think Emi Martinez is going to be moved on in January?
Not January. I think end of season. Not January.
You reckon this?
I think he stays to the end of the season.
Last year?
Yeah. I think it's his last year. I think he's trying to. He's been phenomenal, especially in the last few games. In some of those saves he's been making. Let's make no mistake about it. But I think there's something there that for him that he feels like he probably needs a new challenge. And I think if you look at the Villa fans, and a lot of people will say world's number one, agree. But there's something gone wrong in that last transfer window, which doesn't sit right with a lot of people. I think I'm one of those people that doesn't sit right. You always want people to kind of stay and fight for the club. And on the last day of the transfer window, I think he was waiting for a phone call, if I'm reading some of the reports right, to go to a club that wasn't playing in Champions League, wasn't playing in Europe. And we are. And one of the things that he did go back and say back in the day is that he wants to win a trophy with Aston Villa, and we are in the running to win something. You know, we are consistently. If it wasn't the the Conference League, it was the Champions League, and we were unfortunate against PSG. I think if we came through that game, who knows what would have happened? And then you would have said, all right, well, we've got a potential chance of making the final and winning a trophy here, the biggest trophy. We haven't, but this season we managed to get into Europa, and it's another opportunity for him to win European silverware with a squad and a team that he knows is capable of doing really well and going quite far in the competition. But yet you want him to leave and go and play at a club that's not even in any European competition. That was weird for me.
Yeah.
And so
I agree.
I feel like
the only other thing.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
The only thing I will say though, like, and I might get lambasted for this by people, but like it brings me back to the human element as well. Like I think as well, like, you know, obviously it was a crap situation that was handled really badly, but like there has to be a slight element of kind of like feel sorry from a touch as well, because like I mean Martinez has been blessed with this unbelievable talent, like, but it was a talent that he didn't get to cash in on for a long time. He was at Arsenal, couldn't break through there. He was at loan at Oxford, he was at loan at Reading, he was, you know, and he gets to Aston Villa and he gets a lovely wage. Don't get me wrong, of course he does. But later on in his career, he's quite, like, you know, he's not a young goalkeeper anymore. Like, his career is pushing on, like.
Yeah. But he got an opportunity at Aston Villa, though, to be a number one.
Yeah, no.
We gave him that opportunity.
But 100%, and that's what I'm saying. I might get lambasted with this in a little bit. I'm not saying I agree with it, but when I look at it from another angle, like, we both, me and you sit here, like, we both have, like, no doubt over the years had looked at other companies and thought, like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. You know, the only difference is, like, and he's thinking, and we might think, oh yeah, but they're not in Europe, blah, blah, blah. We don't know how much extra United were offering to, like, you know, when he had these conversations originally with them. And he's obviously not made the same money as a lot of pros at his age should have by now, you know, with his ability, because he didn't really get that first choice keeper till late on his career. Like, the only difference between me, you, and him, the figures are obviously different, but everything he does is played out in the public eye, you know. Whereas, like, I've had jobs where I was happy in the job, but an old interesting offer came around and I still spoke to that thing and thought, that's hard to turn down, like, you know what I mean? The only difference is that I haven't got 40,000 people in a stadium knowing that I'm looking at that and being interested in it, like. You know?
No, and I get your point of view. I get that.
And he does have, and that might be a boring thing for a podcast, but that is it is a reality. Like, it is. The only difference is that but then they should also have the understanding that they're in the public eye and they have to deal with these things differently than what we do.
They do have to
deal
with it differently.
So there is both sides. But like 10 years ago, the scrutiny isn't on it like it is now. You know what I mean? Like, he can't scratch his arse out to bring a media post.
Exactly.
So, like, it's very difficult. But we have to understand, like, these people have a loyalty to their families too. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
As much money as they can. You know.
I agree.
And so it's kind of like, it's a kick in the arse for us as Villa fans, but like, there must be more to it. I don't think it's quite simply like that. He wanted to leave us to go to United. You know, we're in Europe. United aren't. You know what I mean?
Would he have been told that he needs to be sold? Would he have been told that he needs to be sold?
Well, sure. Like if you add it up, like, everybody was probably available at some point over the summer if the right price came in, you know, with the SER. And at the time, him and Kamara were probably our most sellable assets. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, the most you're going to get from another club for someone, or at least they thought, because obviously it didn't materialize for Martinez like it did. But, you know, there has, it's not simply a case of I want to leave. For me, I don't think it was a simple case of I want to leave Villa and go to United. Like there had to have been, there must have been a big money offer table, not in contract, but verbally told. If you sign for us, he doesn't just sit there and start telling lads he's going to United when, like,
Well, they would, but Manchester United are a big club still in the world, aren't they? They haven't been good on the pitch for a long time, but they are still a powerhouse. They're a gigantic. They're what's the word that they used? They're just a gigantic club around the world, and not only would they have been able to give him a bigger salary, but there's all the other things that come with it. The amount of people that are watching you around the world who are Manchester United supporters, the revenue that comes in from buying shirts and all that, and how much that would have contributed to him as well, and his family as well. So I do get that. I do understand all that.
I don't want to hear that. You don't want to talk about that either, because that's not doesn't make an interesting podcast. But I just genuinely don't think it's as simple as like.
But there are facts. There are facts that you should have to still discuss, right? You could still got to have like sensible facts and circumstances. But end of the season, look, if he wants to find a new challenge, do it at the end of this season. Don't go mid-season, unless we're out of no chance of going further down the line in the Europa League and have a chance of winning the competition. I think you should stay out this season. And at the end of the season, make a decision as to, where you want to go and what you want to do with your career. If we haven't won anything, or even if we have won something, you can say, well, my goal was to win a trophy with Aston Villa and we've done that. And so now I need a new challenge. Or, for the last 5 years, I've been trying to win a trophy with Aston Villa and we've just fallen short a little bit. And now it's time for a different challenge. And I think everyone will be happy and say, yeah, fair play. We had some really good seasons with you. Made you a world-class champion, goalkeeper. So yeah, end of the season.
The absolute reality of it is we are a better team with Emi Martinez in the goal. Like, we are. Like,
for sure.
Does he make mistakes? Of course he does. But I still absolutely maintain he will win us.
He wins us more games than we lose. Yeah. So and I still love Martinez. Something didn't sit right at the end of the season, and
it was horrible. But
and as a supporter,
wasn't that the general feeling of the whole club though? Like nothing felt right. There was a lot going on there. There was, I think Martinez was a lot of it was played out in the public eye, but I think there was a lot of bad feeling around the club. I think Martinez was obviously the one that was played out in the public eye because it did look like he was going to leave. Like
something was happening because you got players that are sending coded messages via social media, weren't they? Tyron Mings, for example. I think John McGinn posted something on social media as well, which didn't specify anything in particular, but it sounded like a coded message for dissatisfaction in some way or another, and perhaps to do with the way that Jacob Ramsey had left the club, despite the information that was given out by Damian Vidigani, talking about, I think he was saying that Jacob Ramsey was offered a contract of some sort and he hadn't signed it yet and stuff. And so, they had to protect the club. So anyway, along those lines, I'm paraphrasing and I might have got it wrong.
And they said the offer that came in with Newcastle was too good to renew because he said when someone has a certain amount of time left in their contract and you offer them a contract, a decision has to be made.
Yeah. So, will we see Marco Bizot in the future as a number one?
No, not as number one. I don't.
No, okay, too far.
Yeah. But I think we'll see him in the FA Cup in January. Look, it's been been good to catch up anyway, Tess. It's been a while. Obviously, we didn't go with any we had absolutely no plan on this. Like we just said we'll jump on and have a chat.
Well, we haven't caught up for a while, so it's a good time to just catch up and not have anything specific and just talk about a bunch of things Villa related, Ireland related, because they're in a really good place and could be going to the World Cup. Wales are doing good. Because I'm thinking of our friend here, Ryan.
they have a tough path. They as well as they play Bosnia in the first game, which is I think is winnable for Wales. But then they have to play the winner of Italy and whoever Italy are playing.
Yeah.
So
Can I give a shout out to my
tough.
daughter Pia as well? By the way, sorry, it's not Villa related, but it's her birthday tomorrow. So I want to big shout out to Pia. Love you, and hope you have a great birthday. She has a party on Sunday with some friends coming over for the pool party, so that's going to be really fun and interesting. I'm on barbecue duty, so I thought I'd give her a little shout out on the pod.
Yeah, lovely. And I want to give my beautiful wife a shout out today, as it's actually our wedding anniversary today. Even though we've been together for 12 years, 13 years, but it's only our.
Don't get that wrong. Not on the podcast. Today. Do not get that year wrong, otherwise you're in big trouble.
And, it's a big long day of work today, and kid free tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to celebrate. So,
congratulations, man! That's fantastic. I remember you got married a year ago. Yeah. And we reluctantly.
You and Rhino sent us that beautiful hamper.
Yeah. We. I was trying to ask for your address without it sounded weird. I was like, "What's your address?" She's like, "Are you coming over or something?"
Thought you were going to turn up for the wedding, man. But you would have been more than welcome.
So congratulations, man. That's fantastic news as well. So I hope you guys really get to go out and enjoy your weekend. Just for those who are listening to the podcast, if you have liked the content and enjoy the conversation with us out here in Australia, please give us a like, subscribe. Remember, the subscribe doesn't actually mean that you're paying any money. All it means is that you're tuning in and you're going to receive all your updates for when we next do an episode. So if you can, hit that like, subscribe, and share with your friends, that would be awesome.
And usually, I wouldn't say it's never very, very structured, but if you are listening for the first time, like we do usually follow a review or preview system. So it's today, obviously, we shot the breeze, which is nice to do every now and again as well. But we will be back with a Leeds review early next week. And we'll get back into our rhythm of games then and stuff as well, because life gets in the way. And unless you want to sponsor the podcast, unfortunately, sometimes life is going to get in the way.
Hey, just before we go, then. Sorry, I was going to say before we go, seeing as we are playing Leeds, might as well do like a little score prediction. Just don't really want to talk about this. I know nothing about them, but
Leeds. I watched 3 of Leeds games live this season, I think it was. They looked good in a couple of them, but I think they conceded a lot of goals, which I think suits us. And I think it's going to be much like the Leeds before, where Daniel Farke is a good manager, but he's much like what he was at Norwich. They're a really good championship team. Unfortunately, they're brilliant, like in the championship and what works, and they dominate teams and they control the ball, and that's how they play, and they come up into the Premier League and they're trying it again. And I have a little bit of respect for teams that try that, but also the food chain is different. I do think this will be a good game for Villa, to be honest, because I do think Leeds will come out and attack us, and we all know we are better when teams attack us because we are good at creating space and manipulating space and attacking space. It's the teams that come and throw 11 men behind the ball with us that I worry about. And if Leeds were to do that tomorrow, it's not really them. They're not really used to that. So if Leeds were to come out and throw 11 men behind the ball, I don't think it's going to affect us too much. So I do fancy us for a pretty comfortable win, to be honest. But I did say this about Brentford as well.
So, hey, hang on. I remember. I don't want to pull the video up, but I think I heard something along. My reaction was like, "Wow," because it was like Brentford are getting relegated this season, and then they pretty much won every single game after that. And I was like, "Oh, that episode didn't go down too well." But
I was convinced.
Right. Yeah, they did right.
They're flying. Yeah, Keith Andrews has absolutely proven me wrong. No credit to them.
Yeah.
Huge.
Good on him.
Good on him.
Good on them. Good family club, Brentford.
Anyway,
sorry, I've got to do my prediction. So prediction is going to be 3-1 Villa, and Donny Marlin's going to get 2 goals. He's going to start the game. Ollie Watkins will come on later on and score the third. So I'm saying that Ollie's not going to get the start, which
Yeah,
it's a bit far fetched. But I'm if I was a gambling man, I'm just saying like I might win lots of money at the bookie.
I'm gonna go 2-0 Villa, and I think Ollie Watkins are gonna get the both of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Daniel Mullen
I think-
doesn't
and
start.
Ollie Watkins
Is that what you're
plays.
saying?
No,
Alright.
no. But did you see his goal during the week for Holland? By the way, did you see his goal during the week for Holland? No?
Yeah. I saw. That's why I'm saying I feel like he's in form, isn't he? He's in form. And we saw this before. I don't want to go too much into it, but we saw this kind of form happen when Ollie wasn't really on fire, and then what's his name again? Oh my god, John Duran. John Duran was on form and scoring goals, wasn't he? And then eventually Ollie started to come back again once we got rid of Duran. So yeah, I think that's about it, Spud. We're kind of done for the night.
That's about it, man. Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Good luck against Leeds, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.